everyone, and welcome back to Mediak. And today is a special, sort of special episode. I think it's the first or the second time we've ever had a TV show on the podcast, and not just any TV show. The first thing in the DCU, James Gunn's new superhero universe. So, as usual, you got Skylar over there, Chandler right here, and me, Zach, down here. Skylar, you didn't know anything going into the show, right? Did you even know it was DC going into it?
Well, yes, because
the logo.
It pretty much throws it in your face.
Well, yeah, but before starting the first episode, did you think?
Whenever you said the name of it, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
The second you click the episode, you know.
Yeah, you know, because Superman pops up and he's like, "Oh," and it's like, "Big DC. This is the new DC universe." It says, "This is James Gunn's DC universe. Don't forget it. This is the first one." That's the text that pops up at the beginning of the first episode of the show. So, a little bit of a breakdown. We're going to be doing the first 4 episodes in this podcast, and then in next week's podcast, we're going to be doing the remaining 3. I've actually watched. I watched it weekly as it was coming out, so I've seen all 7. But I rewatched specifically the first 4 for this episode, so I won't do any spoilers. So no one worry about that. I know what I'm talking about. I think maybe.
Wait, you were watching this thing as it was releasing?
Yeah.
Oh, I know you did.
Wait, what?
I'll
I might not.
Were you mentioning that?
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay,
I probably haven't been. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just had no idea when it released.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Do I
spoil my thoughts on it?
I think we should talk about the first. I think we should split it up. First 2, second 2. Okay. I think we should do that. Okay. I
wrote down funny moments.
That's understandable. Before going into I guess we should 3 parts. Expectations going into it. I was really excited. I think that if anyone can make a great comic book universe, I think James Gunn can do it. And I had like insane high expectations for this because I know that you can be the budget's not unlimited with animation because it costs a lot, but you can do more and have it look realistic and look cool than you can with real life stuff in dealing with CG. So I was excited for this. And whenever I was watching this with my mom and my girlfriend, the first 2 episodes, I fucking hated it. I did not enjoy the first 2 episodes at all. Like, I didn't enjoy how sexual it was the entire time. I didn't mind the gore. I like gore, and I know it's rated R. But man, like, it was like...
It was off-putting.
Yeah, it was like the animators were like, okay, these are fake women, so we can just show them off as much as we can. And turning Victor Frankenstein into a necrophiliac fucking really made me not happy. I did not enjoy that. And, and they really went all out with that moment, and I just wasn't the biggest fan of it, and I thought the animation was really good, and there was a lot that I could like about it. But going into week 3, I was like, man, dude, this is not what I was expecting, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Am I overreacting? Did it feel like a lot in the first 2 episodes?
I would say you are overreacting. It wasn't like
Fair.
oh my gosh, but like it was like
screaming.
Okay.
But it's just
I didn't think. I wouldn't say it was like so off-putting to where I was like, oh, is the next episode gonna be worse or like anything like that. I would say it was a little off-putting, especially with the necrophilia. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is nowhere. And then the princess in the bathroom.
I thought that
in the bedroom.
Okay, that was the only. Oh, in the bedroom was.
That was like the more acceptable one.
The bathroom
it
was
came
the
out
only one that was acceptable because of Dr. Phosphorus and his reaction to it. I thought that was the only.
No, I'm talking about the first one in the bedroom.
You like the bedroom?
Whenever he turns it down.
So it went from my son died. I think you would have liked him, and she goes, I don't care about your son. I want to fuck you.
No, I was saying that one was like so unexpected, just out of nowhere. Yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, really? You should check out this."
Yeah, that's literally what happened. He was like, "My son died," and she goes, "Well, I'm in the older guys, so it doesn't matter if your son died." And he's just like, "Whoa, what's happening here?" She goes, "Want to check something out?"
Whoa.
Want to check something out? And he goes, weird. Sure. And then she takes off her clothes, and he goes, "That's not what I wanted to check out."
This isn't ethical right now.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my job description.
Yeah. I think
the bathroom one was funny.
I think
the bathroom one was really funny.
The bathroom one was pretty funny. Okay, first up, On initial reactions, I guess we can go through all 4 episodes because it's kind of hard to narrow it down. But what are favorite characters? What
Do you
are we
want
thinking?
Ann and me to do our
Oh
expectations?
yeah, go ahead.
For the show
What were you
going
guys
in?
thinking going into it? Sorry, I skipped over that.
Um,
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be terrible. I didn't
terrible.
know.
Okay,
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know James
That's-
Gunn was directing it until the
that's-
end of the show.
that's your expectation for everything that I recommend that you don't know about. You're like, this is
Yeah.
gonna be shit. This is gonna be dog shit. I'm gonna hate this. Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I. To be fair, I also do that with Chandler. I only think that I'm making the good recommendations right off the
Well,
bat.
that's super fair.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
1 for 1 right
Yeah,
now.
for the year, he's
Said-
1 for 1. He's 1 for 1 for the year.
Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
action
Yeah, so
packed.
I was going in, and I was like, I just don't know, because like, upon the first little bit, I was like, okay, this is just a Suicide Squad with different members.
That's literally
I was
the
like,
point.
okay, so it's gonna be the same old.
Did you watch the last
Gore,
one?
last Suicide Squad.
Oh, we watched it together. That was dumb. I remember that. Yeah. We watched that together. Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, I kind of expected to be on those lines, and I was like, okay, they're just making the movie a TV show, and it's doing like a little bit more here and there. And I mean, it was, but it's also not. So like, it definitely has its own personality, but it's like,
I don't see anything.
You can copy my homework, just make it a little bit different.
Yeah,
like, it's
kinda.
like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, but
A
it
little
definitely
bit.
has its own like personality to it. If that makes sense.
I don't see anything wrong with that because, like, even if it is something that we've seen and expected, like, why not just watch another mission with a team that we like? You know?
I didn't know if I liked the team.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go off.
And
the
to be
idea
fair, they
that
weren't batting the best before.
That's well, in the first movie they were really not batting the best. That's definitely
Yeah.
for sure. In the second movie, I guess even half the cast got killed in the first 10 minutes, so I guess they weren't batting the best either. But
Yeah, so like 2 for 4.
Yeah, it's okay. Chandler, what were your expectations? What did you think about this? You probably knew that James Gunn had hands in this, right?
Yes, 100%. I knew about this just because of what you would say.
Right.
But I had utterly no expectations for this because I was ignorant and oblivious to it even releasing. I just
Oh.
completely forgot about it. So I didn't give it the time of day to even
Think about
ponder
it,
on
right.
what to expect. But I did know you said some of the characters, like the bride, was going to be in it. Rick Sr.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple other. So I knew some things. I don't think my expectations actually were high. Like I was thinking, for example, the bride. The bride initially doesn't have any superpowers, I thought. So I was like, how are they going to make this interesting? Especially with some of the other characters, I didn't think they all had power. Like the Weasel.
Yeah.
I still was so confused as to why he was in Suicide Squad and initially in this. Because he has like no powers, right?
Right.
So
People actually
I just-
go ahead. Yeah.
I was just confused,
I'll bring
like
it up
what's going to be so entertaining about these people? But yeah, I mean that's my expectations. Do we want my thoughts?
On the first, yeah, you know what? What am I doing with this stupid splitting it up? Let's
Full
just talk
send,
about the
right?
entire
Just
thing.
full
Yeah.
send?
What do you think of it?
I want to give it a 10. I'm just going to say
The
it
entire
outright right
thing,
now.
the first 4
I
episodes.
want
you think
to
it's perfect?
so badly. I'm not going to,
Okay.
but so I loved every bit
It
of
was
it.
great, yeah.
I do think it was weird though how horny that princess was. That was definitely a little too overbearing for sure.
I think specifically, like,
They just met though. It's like why?
I know.
Why
I get it.
he
I get
wanted
it.
so
I get
bad?
it. I get it. I think it ages a little bit better. I just wish that they spread the sexualness a little bit more than the first, because you just get thrown all of the sex that in the entire show in the first 2 episodes. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler. I'm sorry about that, but like, but I wish we saw
That's how most things go though. I feel like
maybe. I
Not
don't
Game
know.
of Thrones. That's every
I think it's a
episode.
trend.
Yeah.
It's a trend though.
But most of the show is watching like flashbacks of characters, as you can see. But I think it would have been better maybe to save. I know it's weird because she was at her hometown, but just save it for later because I didn't need to see that at that moment. You know, like I was already.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
if she maybe upon like a reuniting with
Yeah, something like that. Like
Frankenstein
just
from later on.
find a way to move. Like if you gotta have the necrophilia in the show, if you really have to, just push
Make
it.
sure people are hooked first.
Yeah,
Can I
exactly.
be honest?
Yeah.
You guys are just like making a deal about this necrophilia. I didn't think of it like that. So that's news to
Interesting.
me. I thought of it as incest
It's a little
Because-
he's grooming her.
she's the daughter,
Yeah.
kind of, because he's literally educating her
But
as
he-
if she's
he
his
is
daughter.
grooming her. Like by definition, she is a child.
Oh,
and
100%.
he's aging her up.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. She did age pretty quickly, but yeah, you're right.
Well,
100%.
nothing's wrong.
grooming.
Well, she has like a fully developed brain.
Yes. Yeah. But like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was not expecting it whatsoever, especially in the middle of that fight.
Yeah. That ruined
You know
it
what?
too, because I was in on that fight. I thought it looked so cool, and then they slammed her on the thing, and then immediately cut to that, and I was like,
"What the fuck? What the hell is even that?
What is this? I wasn't expecting this. Like they showed everything too. They didn't leave it anything to the imagination in that scene, specifically that scene.
Like, who were you? Were you sitting next to G?
I was sitting next to G. My mom was on the other end of this. No, I didn't do that. I honestly was sitting there like, because like, what do you do? Like that. That's a uncomfortable situation. Not the best.
To be fair, so I watched these this morning because I was like, okay, there are a couple episodes, so I'll just watch it in the morning because I didn't have anything to do. And it was like 10 o'clock whenever I got to watch that. So that's how I started my day.
That's sick.
Was watching a scientist groom a corpse and then making his son corpse watch him.
Argue?
I guess.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Was he watching?
He was
or
watching.
Was he just there?
He was
He
watching.
was in the room.
Oh. Ugh.
Yeah, dude. Arguably multiple corpses because it's a series of corpses sewn together.
Oh yeah.
Also, this is an episode 2. So can she fly? It looks like she can fly, right?
That's what I thought, but no, there's no way she can. I don't believe she can.
Think she can. I think she's jumping.
But at one point she turns. On the second watch, I was paying attention to this. She doesn't kick off the ground. She just turns and goes up. At one point,
bro, maybe she's like Mashal and she just kicks in the air.
Yeah,
she could just
that'd be funny, and it's just too fast for the animation to see or something. Yeah. I don't know, but I think it would like
SpongeBob.
Not be out of the only if she can fly, it would be weird like that it was an issue of her being thrown off of the balcony like later in that episode.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I think maybe a third viewing might be needed for me to see if that's like necessarily true. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. Can you guys talk about favorite characters? Yeah. Actually.
I have a favorite character.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
G.I. Robot.
Without a doubt.
I was gonna guess that was yours and Zach's favorite.
He's so
G.I.
awesome.
Robot, episode 3 is the best episode.
There's like, he cracks him like every 5 minutes.
He does, yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
It has been 43 years, 6 months, 4 days,
32 minutes?
52 seconds since I have been killing Nazis as friends.
Yeah.
That's what a Nazi would say.
Yeah.
Then,
dude, that had me cackling whenever he was on the stage and he was like, "I assure you, no one's a Nazi here." And he goes, "Well, that's what a Nazi would say."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You both also like the G.I. Joe hello whenever Nina is in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And after he's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And then she like puts out her hand. He goes,
"My disappointment of killing Nazis is immeasurable." Yes. That is actually really funny when she puts his hand on.
I missed that.
That was actually really good, and he was like, "Hi."
Hi.
Yeah, that was good. A close runner-up is actually Dr. Phosphorus for me, but I can't tell if it's because like he's actually that enjoyable or because I love that voice actor like more than anything else on this entire planet. I love him so much. He's so funny. And James Gunn answered a question and he's nerfed as a voice actor. He can only play this character even though he can do like an insane range of characters because he was like, if we ever want this person to be in live action, we needed to look like him. So I'm like, well, I guess that makes sense, but he's so awesome. I want him to do more.
Would you both like to guess my favorite character?
I'd say the Bride. I'd say she's a badass, and maybe Skylar is feeling pretty girl. No, definitely Frankenstein. Definitely Frankenstein.
I was going to say that.
I remembered, and I was like, no, that's totally Skylar's, dude. The scene of him going in the house, it made me feel like that's Skylar's favorite character, and then he goes like Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in that movie Titanic. Not many people have seen it. I thought to myself, man, Skylar definitely cracked up during that moment.
Mine is Dr. Phosphorus. You both are really wrong.
That's super fair. Dr. Phosphorus is great. I love him so much.
He 100% won me over at the bathroom scene. And he's like, okay, so give him like 30 seconds. Well, actually, he's a little bit older, so he's probably some experience. And probably a minute. So like I could probably give him a minute. He's like, I wouldn't knock yet.
He was like, give him 1 full minute. And then he was like, you couldn't have told me that earlier? I was trying to be a bro.
Yeah. And then he's just like staring at the guard, and you can hear like the background. He's just standing there.
I like he told the guard, he was like, "Have you seen the princess?" to the guard.
Have you seen them?
That was really good, man. He's funny. I really like him. His voice actor is amazing. His name's Alan Tudyk. He voiced the chicken in Moana. He just is. He's him. Skylar, you watched the Harley Quinn show, right?
Yes.
He voices the Joker and also Clayface in that show.
Oh,
Wow.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and also
I wouldn't have made that connection though, because Clayface sounds weird.
In the show, yeah, he talks like this or something. We're like, yeah. It's so good. I love Alan Tudyk so much. He's such a great voice actor, and actually just a great actor. This isn't his first time in the DC universe too, because he played Mr. Nobody in the Doom Patrol TV show, and he fucking did amazing in that. Like the first season of Doom Patrol is one of my favorite like comic book TV show seasons. I wouldn't say that for the rest of the series. I think it kind of fell off a cliff after season 1, but season 1 is fantastic, like nearly perfect. And
Who's Mr. Nobody again?
He's the guy who like he can go between the pages of the comics.
Okay, that's what I thought. But that's the guy. That's Dr.
That's Dr. Phosphorus. Yeah.
No way,
Yeah,
really?
Wade,
I didn't make that connection.
You watched Doom Patrol season 1?
I've seen 2 seasons, not season 3.
That's crazy. I watched the entire thing, and I do think season 2 is pretty good, but season 1 is amazing, and it's really fantastic, and a lot of it, like most of the reason why season 1 is good is because of how good of a villain Alan Tudyk is as Mr. Nobody for that season. It's just it's crazy. It's really awesome. It's so good.
It's an interesting show though.
Yeah.
I think the reason I didn't care for the rest of it is because like I wanted to see some of their powers, but they weren't like they still weren't showing
they
them
needed
just
it
yet.
to be low budget,
accepting.
and they couldn't use Mr. Nobody as an excuse to not have them use their powers in the later seasons, so it made it like kind of boring.
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt, to be honest.
No, totally. That's definitely what it was. But we're not reviewing that show. We're reviewing a very similar, an insanely similar, but different show, which is crazy.
I want to.
Wait, can we all? Oh, I was gonna say, do we all appreciate the references to the prior movie with the star? Gosh, Suicide Squad. Yeah. Well, that was kind of cool. I like that they kind of canonized that. I know it's not part of their new universe, but
I had questions about that. So, like, because they also mentioned Peacemaker, but like, if they do that, then that's 100% not in the DCEU, the old one, because I'm confusing myself. In Peacemaker, they have Aquaman and the Flash from the DCEU, so Peacemaker and Suicide Squad cannot be in the DCU in the same way.
Hear me out. What if, in this current universe, James Gunn's universe, those things kind of happen, just not the way that we saw them? Yeah, so maybe that's what they're trying to say. But also,
go ahead.
You saw the guy with the crutch, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about an alien invasion. Yeah. Was that
with
from
Peacemaker?
Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, they kind of canonized it almost.
I think so. We saw Mortal Kombat in these set of episodes. Like at some point, I don't remember where it was, but we saw someone playing Mortal Kombat. I think this is going to be conspiracy theory of me, and I apologize for that. I think that is James Gunn's way of saying that the Mortal Kombat universe is canon in the DCU, and I know that sounds stupid because Peacemaker is in the current reboot of Mortal Kombat. And in that, there's a little story where they literally like take him from the TV show, and he like acknowledges that he's leaving the TV show and is now in the Mortal Kombat universe, and he's like, now I gotta find a way to get back. So like, what if Peacemaker season 2 starts off with him leaving the Mortal Kombat universe? Which would be fucking.
That'd be so trippy.
That would be so stupid, I think, because that makes your extended media way too extended, I think.
Yeah. So many people, just don't game, and so many people who do game don't do Mortal Kombat. So
and don't do DLC. So, like, how would they know that?
That's so niche.
Yeah.
So niche. And that will go over so many people's heads.
They could, though. They really could. I could see that happening because James Gunn really wants Peacemaker to be a part of the DCU somehow. And Peacemaker Season 2 is a part of the DCU. And clearly this is. So, like, I don't know.
No, honestly, that's kind of I like that theory.
I'm excited to see
That's creative.
where they go in that with that. But again, I'm sorry, we're not talking about that. Skylar, what did you want to say before? When
Did you both appreciate the shirtless Zac Efron
Yes.
last screen?
Yes.
Grandma's
Yeah.
phone.
Yes.
What was that?
that was so funny.
I saw it and I was like, wait a second, and then I rewound and I was like, okay, yeah, I thought
Wait,
that was
what?
Zac Efron, but I wanted to make sure, I guess. I was like, I wanted to write it down, and I didn't want to write down the wrong person. But that was him.
I don't want to place credit where like it's not due, but I genuinely feel like that's a James Gunn like touch.
Oh.
Just because he puts so much detail into all of his movies, into like every moment of trying to make people like as happy or as sad as humanly possible. He definitely just was like, we can't just make this some background on a phone. We got to make it something. And he chose that just because it was funny. And I enjoy that.
Well, didn't he write this thing?
He did, yeah. What you guys think about him? First off, I love the intro. I think the theme is really fun, and I think the little cinematic of them swinging around and shooting and doing all the fun stuff is great. Well, I think having him have his own little animation is a little edging on narcissistic a tiny bit. I
was
love,
funny to see him at the table just typing.
Yeah, I love him.
I think it's cool. I appreciate it.
It is. I think they're doing it. I don't think that's something he asked. I think that's something the team got together and was like, you have a brand now, so like I think it's a big deal that you wrote this. So they were like, you got to be a part of the intro. I'm hoping that's what it was.
I don't have an issue with
really
it.
Funny.
What?
I just think it's really funny. It's on the superheroes and some guy just typing.
Yeah, that's great. Skylar, have you seen Peacemaker? You watched the first
a little
episode,
bit.
didn't you? Yeah. Do you remember the intro of that show? I love that intro. It's fantastic. It's the best part about it. Do you want to?
No, I'm not.
Make it? Sorry, it's a big dance.
Maybe.
Scene. It's amazing. It's so good.
I don't know. It's been like a long time.
Technically, so that actually I think is the only other TV show we ever reviewed on the podcast. It was because me and Jack reviewed the first episode. I was, funnily enough, I was actually drunk for that episode of the podcast whenever I reviewed it. It's a 22-minute. Do I even still have it on the channel? There's a chance I don't, and I apologize for that if I don't. Did you guys have a favorite episode so far? I guess that'll be a better thing to ask next week once we watch the entire thing. But I think that episode 3, Cheers to the Tin Man, is the best episode of the entire show.
Yeah. That one was very fun.
I love that episode. And listening to Coin Operated Boy as a... Sorry, I'm typing this up. Okay, yeah, the Peacemaker episode is still there. We reviewed the first 3 episodes. It is 17 minutes and 4 seconds long, and I do remember being drunk for that episode. So if you do want to go and watch that and listen to me, I don't think I say that in the episode, so... Yeah. What was I on about? Oh, yeah, listening to the song Coin Operated Boy playing as he was just mowing down everyone and the Nazi group was just so... It was so perfect. The music choice was great in this, which is not shocking in the slightest because James Gunn always has fantastic music choice in his movies. Every single time a song played was just like, where does he find these weird songs? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm happy he does. I
wonder if he has someone listening to all the songs or if he himself just goes through every song on the internet.
He totally listens to them
this
all.
One.
I bet he listens to them all. Because like they're all
he has a
thematic.
very weird favorite genre.
He does have a weird type of genre, and it's good in a way. Well, I think he purposely made it weird in this one because it's about a bunch of weirdos that I relate to because I'm a weirdo.
I really like the kitchen fight. I agree.
Yeah, in episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's the title of episode 3? I think I agree. That's my favorite.
Cheers to
solely because it's. Yeah, just because a GI Robot's my favorite, and it's about his backstory, so it's just going to be my favorite. But I love the kitchen fight. Yeah. That was entertaining. That's great. A close second. The fire in the scene in the bedroom just looks so cool. Like how it exploded green and then turned to like orange every time. It was so sick, dude. I really love the animation in the show, and it's a little different than like what we're used to in anime tiny bit because a lot of the time, at least in modern anime, they still use models, which is what this is. This is like a more model instead of cell hand-by-hand animation.
You see a lot of that more with modern animation, but most animation is like straight up page by page with it. So it's a little different, and you could see that a tiny bit. Like it's a little less fluid, but the moments that are fluid in this show are fucking amazing. Like they're really great. Like the fighting and all of the action is really fantastic, and that's where the show shines the brightest, in my opinion. A close second is the humor, because it is a really funny show. I think it's a great, it's a good time. Overall, I think the first 4 episodes are worth it. I think that if you're like me and think that sexual stuff isn't the most enjoyable things in TV shows, hey, I'm I'm not saying sex is bad. I just don't think that you can ever, if you remove sex from anything, it doesn't
make it worse.
It doesn't make it worse. It doesn't make it better. It's just like, why you're only putting this in there because you have some sort of weird fetish towards what you're making. You know, like at least in my head.
James got exposed.
Well, like, there's going to be a select group of people who have watched the entire show and are probably getting really angry at some of the things that we've said. And I've noticed some of them, and I just can't say it because of spoiler reasons. But like, if you're that person, either wait till next episode, or the next thing I'm going to say, I'm going to try and not say it in a spoilery way. But like, even if the plot happens and has to be that way, you don't have to show it. You know, like you don't have to show her. You don't have to show any of that. You know, you don't have to show any of that. It's never needed. You could always like imply it, or whatever. You'd never have to show it. That's my only complaint with the show.
So you said both of your favorite episodes is Tears to the Tin Man.
Yep.
Even with the Frankenstein and the Bride stuff, I think my favorite is the second one.
Yeah,
just
fire.
because like it was a really entertaining episode.
Yeah.
And the part where Frankenstein and the Bride travel through different time periods doing different things was so sick.
That was a great moment.
And then like obviously with like the fight scene with
Cersei.
Yes, Cersei. That was pretty cool, with the Bride just kind of like
pummeling
beating her ass for most of the fight. And then like I feel like the Bride and Nina really like bonded a lot in that episode, and it kind of showed again in the 4th episode. So I really enjoyed the first 2, but I'd probably still say like the first 2 are definitely my 2 favorites, but I think the second one is a little bit better, just because all the outfit changes and all the style changes that they went through within like,
it was great. Yeah.
I don't know, a couple minutes. It was really sick.
And I do love David Harbour.
That's what I was doing. I was trying to go through it and find all of the titles so I could see if mine was part of one,
right,
or if it was in 1 or if it was in 2.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you like Frankenstein though? I feel like the scene in the 3rd episode where Rick has a gun to his eye and he's like, "I will shoot you," and he goes, "Yarr!" I was like, that's such a Skylar thing. Like, I think that's hilarious.
He's okay. He's not my favorite.
Yeah. He's okay.
I think I like all of the main cast
more than
the princess and the main staff guard more.
I like Alexa. I think he's funny. Waza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that. Before I started seeing AI Robot more, I thought that was going to be both of your favorite characters just because of that. You're like, yeah, America, what's up?
Well, it's timeless because like it's in the show. It's aged pop culture references. So like, I think that's a timeless joke that will never get old because of how it's already old.
What would you have done if he said Skibbity Toilet?
Dude, I would have turned it off. I would have not watched the show. I would have straight up just not watched it at all. There's no way. The day that my superhero show says Skibbity Toilet is the day that I'm no longer a superhero fan. Like, I'm saying that right now. That sucks. That is a horrible future that I wish I never have to be a part of. Ugh. Sorry.
That is really funny. I had to know. I just had to know.
Skylar's gonna write a script for a movie one day, and it's gonna be Skibbity Toilet references. Me and Skylar talked about writing a script recently, and he's gonna find some workaround to put Skibbity Toilet in there.
Yeah, I'll ad lib.
Yeah, there's a scene.
Like, is that going to be in the dialogue, or is it just going to be in the background?
I already thought of it, Skylar.
Yeah,
The scene where they do like a flashback where he's like a kid and he's like growing up. His parents walk in on him and he has his phone. He's watching a Skibbity Toilet video.
Better yet, it's just I just randomly flash back to a kid. There's no background, just completely
It's not
black,
even
just
the
my
main
face.
character.
And I just looking and say "skibbity toilet" right
That's it,
at the
yeah.
camera.
And then it's a
that's it.
hard cut to the next scene and it's back
Yeah.
on normal. Well, we should do
Yeah,
that.
so
I
just
think
so
that'd be
everybody
funny. What the fuck was that? Was that real? And the joke would be you only put that in like 20% of the showings. So like some people go and say,
They're like, wait, you're
Mind
talking-
games.
we were like, I thought it was weird that like 30 minutes in they just paused and the writer looked at the screen and said "Skibbity Toilet" and then just skipped on. And then other people would be like, dude, what are you talking about? That
What if
didn't
it's like
exist.
only in theatrical versions, and so
Yes,
whenever it actually releases
exactly.
for theaters,
God.
can't find it anymore?
God, now I have to do like I think this is a must. When we write this movie, Skylar, I think this is something that we have to do.
But back onto the topic of Creature Commandos.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about some of the animation parts that I thought were like, because there were multiple points in these 4 episodes where I was like, okay, that's probably the best animated moment, and then something else would come out like, okay, that's probably the best animated moment.
Yeah.
So I wrote them all down. Zac Efron was on there because it was really funny. The fact that they just put him on a camera.
Yeah.
So that one was on there. But I put the bride backstory
Yeah.
and traveling through time on there because I was pretty impressed with
So
that,
good.
like right off the bat. I put the Dr. Phosphorus fight over the phone, like the bedroom scene that you guys
Yeah.
talked about earlier,
So
into the kitchen. That one was so good. And I don't know if you saw, but his hand had all of the burn marks, and that was so sick. that he
I
kept the
wish he
damage.
kept his damage throughout the entire show, bro. That would have been sick. Because, like, it was sick watching him get more and more damage throughout that fight. It was awesome. I really like that.
Okay, this
Well,
is
the princess
really,
patched him up.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
up in
Oh
couple
yeah,
ways.
yeah, dude. Having sex heals all of your burn wounds. It does it instantly.
Instantly.
all
It's kind
all
of
you
insane.
virgins out there, that's something to look forward to. Just saying.
Yeah, true. Next time, and on the oven and see if it's right.
Yeah, do
Don't
that.
do
Do that
that.
first.
Please do not do that.
Burn your
Um,
hand and then
I
go
do
at
not
it. It's
condone
gonna
putting
be
your
crazy.
hand on the oven ever.
No, Mediak rule. Do it. Kidding. Don't please. That's a joke.
The next one, yeah, please, it's a joke. The next one was a super niche animated moment, but it was the weasel playing catch with the princess. The princess's throwing animation was so fluid.
Right.
It was so fluid. It was insane. It looked so good. I just expected it to be like
Yeah.
a little, but it was like fully wound back to like her arm like snapped. I was like, whoa, that was out of nowhere. And then I wrote down, wow, the GI robot really doesn't like the Nazis.
No, he hates them Nazis.
Yeah,
Die,
that was before
Nazi!
episode 3.
So wait, why? Whenever they were in that convention area or whatever that meeting, what like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Whenever he was with the one guy who bought him and had him indoctrinated him into his family, I guess. Why was there a swastika there? Or it's like
Because they're
backwards? Like what?
socialists, bro.
Oh, but they're not Nazis.
Well, they were like,
Were
sorry.
they?
No, so I that was a bad thing for me to say. Not all socialists are Nazis, but they were Nazis. Yes,
Oh, they were. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
it was a group.
Okay,
of Nazis.
I guess I just didn't even consider that they were because I was like, he was showing off his collection of all his military medals
Well, yeah,
and whatnot. I was like, oh, he must be a proud American, and I just shut it off. I didn't consider they were actually Nazis. I thought that they just slapped that logo back there.
If you put that together,
is-
and then if you put the Nazi sign, and then also him on the way driving there saying, "We're really proud of our country. We just want it to be a little better," or something along those
Yeah.
lines. It's just
Yeah.
like,
That's
yeah,
what
that's
I
what it
figured.
is. Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
So yeah,
I tried to. I'm delusional. What can I
He
say?
really picked the wrong collectible.
yeah.
He really did.
He did. He picked the worst one possible. That was good stuff. Oh, well, so go ahead. Actually, Skylar, you're going off your list. Go ahead.
That was the end of my list.
That was
That's
the
what I
end of the
gonna
list.
tell you.
So, what'd you guys think
Yeah.
of Weasel's backstory? Because that was episode 4. We
I kind of thought whenever they first showed it, I was like, he's not actually killing them.
Yeah.
I was like, it looks like he's saving them.
It's
raise your hand if you're a
heartbreaking.
little disappointed with that. Am I the only one?
But the fact that he was saving them?
Yeah.
Or just that's the way that he goes.
Well, it's a
They got
retcon,
caught.
you know? Like, I guarantee it was because people liked Weasel from Suicide Squad, and they were like, I really like that Weasel guy who's funny, but he killed 27 kids. And then James Gunn was like, yeah, maybe I went a little too far with the 27 part. Let's pull that back a bit. Let's make it 8. let me pull that back a bit more and make it so that he was actually saving them. And I get it. It makes it so that it makes a little bit more sense. Like this character that has never been violent except for the time in which it killed these 27 kids. It makes more sense than what it was. But I don't know. It gave me
That's
one
what I
of
was
those.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire thing, he was never violent.
Yeah.
He was like playing catch with multiple people.
Cersei would say
except for the
otherwise.
one time,
I was gonna say
he was.
we have a character
But
that
he
might
was
say a little
openly
otherwise.
being attacked.
Yeah,
so
that is
like
true.
that's a little different.
Yeah.
He never initiated the attacking.
Yeah, that's
although
fair.
he did give some like absolutely ferocious backshots to Cersei. That was
Jesus
insane.
Christ.
Actually, like she was like down facing the other way, and he was just scratching the shit out of her back.
Let's talk about that moment for a little bit. So Cersei is an Amazonian, like Wonder Woman. A lot of people got really upset with that fight because the Weasel and Dr. Phosphorus beat essentially Wonder Woman with magic, and people were really upset about that. I could see both sides of the argument. Like, she didn't just fight against the two of them because she did get clobbered by the bride, like the episode prior. But like, I do feel like she probably should have.
She should have won.
Yeah, at least she could have taken a little bit more something. Because
are we sure she's as strong as Wonder Woman?
No, we're not.
Clearly not.
I don't think she is.
Okay, so that's
no.
what I'm saying. Maybe like her
Wonder
magic.
Woman's like a goddess, while she's like just a really strong Amazon.
Okay.
Amazonian. Why do I keep doing that?
I'm not necessarily surprised how it turned out then. Personally,
I don't have a problem with it because like this is a new universe, so anything is possible, you know. So like it doesn't necessarily matter to me all that much. And gonna be honest here, I never thought she was that big of like a character overall. Like I never figured she's crazy important, and it's not like she's dead. Like, so I don't really care that she got beat up by a character I really like and a character that I'm kind of middle of the road towards. I
don't mind the retcon. I don't mind it.
I don't mind the retcon either.
Of the Weasel.
Weasel, yeah.
It's grown on me. My second time watching it, I was more into it, but I did feel like it was a deliberate retcon. It felt like very Dragon Ball to me.
It's definitely very different from Suicide Squad. Like if you're watching back to back, Weasel's definitely unrecognizable. But I kind of want to feel for the guy. Like,
yeah,
I want to believe.
I like having
that's his backstory.
I like having relatable characters and characters that I can relate to and like enjoy by like understanding. That's what relate is. But like,
and that's why you're mad at the retcon because you related to Weasel before
I
the
did
retcon.
relate, dude. It's because he understood what I did back in '99. Like, and it just was so similar. So I just was like, that Weasel guy. He understands me. He knows me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
3 years before your birth, those people did not know you were. You
But
did not know
also
you were on your way.
Yeah, those people back then. But jokes aside, I don't mind it. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I honestly think it's definitely better moving forward with this team. Like, you can't just have someone that murdered 20-something kids on a team of characters you're supposed to enjoy. But like, I don't know. Sometimes let the bad guys be bad guys, you know?
But is a single one of these people bad?
Dr. Phosphorus,
no one
100%. Dr. Phosphorus is a bad guy. Big time.
Oh, okay.
He's a
And
Batman
the bride.
villain. And the bride, totally, yeah. She says she kills
I mean, last episode just killed a prisoner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
They
is
seem like
totally true, yeah.
They're turning to like the gray side, not light side. They're going in between the dark and the
I
light.
would say they're just like kind
There's
of
not
like
really anyone on the Suicide
whatever they
Squad
want.
or Task Force Creature Commandos that's like necessarily evil. Like, they're all on the gray side, you know?
Well, I mean, I guess they're inherently there, except for the one. She's on the light side. But
Nina?
well, yes.
Yeah, how is she there?
Well, she
is technically a
basically
monster,
every
yeah.
episode of the show is exploring the backstories of these characters, except for one. No, two. There's 2 episodes that don't explore backstories. A little bit.
Okay.
The first one didn't, right?
First one didn't. Yes.
No.
So it was so far we've seen Bride.
Bride, GI Robot, and
yeah.
Weasel. You got
Okay.
2 left, I think. Yeah, 2 left.
Mhm.
Which is him.
And then we've also seen the future that Cersei's saying.
Oh yeah, what do you
happening.
guys think about that? So this is the setup for the entire first saga of the DCU. Any opinions?
That's what this is?
Yeah, that's what that is.
I thought that was just about what's going to be in this season. That's actually like...
That's the setup for this entire DCU.
Damn, okay.
The reason why we know that is because in the Superman trailer, there was someone reading a newspaper, and it said something about Gorilla Grodd, and that was very clearly Gorilla Grodd that we saw with, what's her name?
100%.
In that desert wasteland. And Chandler, if you remember, also in that trailer, that scene where he's in the desert and he's like putting up the flag, that's 100% a reference to that future scene there. I think we could talk more about it at the end of the show, but I think that at the very least, this arc, like this Infinity Saga equivalent that James Gunn's cooking, it's called Gods and Monsters. This arc, I think, is going to at least feel more cohesive than anything Marvel has, in my opinion, just because of the way that he's building it with the intention that it's all going to be together. I don't know though.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know how I feel about like the princess being the super evil one. But like I haven't seen
maybe
the
she's
show,
a pawn. She must be a pawn and all of it. Or she definitely is. I'm sure Gorilla Grodd is using her somehow.
Yeah, I'd say we'll circle back around to this after we finish the entire show, and then obviously in a couple months when Superman comes out, we can talk about it a little bit more, because I bet they're going to go into a little bit harder in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the intention to make this the like Infinity Saga, then I imagine it's going to be essentially part of everything.
Yeah, so like
I think it's going to explain a little bit more.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the remaining DCU projects in Part 1 are going to play, not only like as a overall story, but how they're going to be on their own. Yeah, exactly. Because like, are they going to be able to stand themselves? Like, if I'm watching Superman by itself or Supergirl Down the Future by itself, will it make sense? Like, alone?
If you don't remember all the details.
Yeah, from the previous parts of the story, it's going to be something I'm going to be curious to see, because he did say they are going to be pretty interconnected within each other.
I would also like them just to have like rewatch value. Like, say like I finish the Infinity their saga.
I still watch Iron Man.
Yeah, but is it going to be like, oh, well, this one thing actually got like completely undone, so this movie means nothing?
Oh, right.
Is it going to be like that?
Yeah, exactly. Which is something that the Marvel Universe didn't do. They didn't nix, like, for example, Thor: The Dark World, because that movie rewarded, like, even if since it's a bad movie, it still rewarded you by like showing it in Endgame, so it didn't feel like it was a waste of your time, you know?
Yeah. As long as like the movies connect and every movie adds at least something and it gets called upon later on.
And stands alone. We have a lot of expectations going on to this little squad here.
Well, they're trying to go against what Marvel's and like Thanos, and that's like notoriously loved. Like they're going head to head with something that people really liked.
It is the best film universe ever, because it's the only time they've ever had like 20 consecutive movies all be successful and tell one story. Well, quote unquote one story. And I hope that they're going to be able to do that in a more cohesive way, I feel. Because this is the superhero episode, so I'm going to spoil this. So something I've been planning, and I think it would be a good idea for us to do in some of like the gap areas of the podcast, because I started filling out a calendar for those who don't know. But I want to start watching the Marvel movies in trilogies, not in sequence, because I want to see how the movies stand. If you're just if your favorite superhero is Iron Man, but you hate every other Marvel movie, would it make sense watching it Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3? If your favorite character is Captain America, how would you feel watching Captain America 1, Winter Soldier, Civil War? Like, I feel like judging these movies in that aspect is going to be so much more interesting than watching them all together consecutively.
Yeah, I would agree.
Can I speak on that real quick?
Go ahead, yeah.
Like I already know the answer to Iron Man because I've seen that many times. I think those two make sense by themselves.
They do, yeah. But like,
there's
more movies than that, you know? Like,
Civil War one, I don't know if that's going to make sense.
I don't know either. But
Black Panther is another one that will probably make sense on
I
its
think
own.
Black Panther will, because those are
Yeah.
what other ones? Like, I feel like if you watch, I
But
don't
like
know.
Thor: The Dark World.
No, Thor's will not, dude. Going into
Yeah. Any of his
Thor
movies.
3 without
Yeah,
watching like
Hulk- you don't know where
Avengers.
Hulk went.
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
fuck? That will be the most confusing thing ever. I honestly
I
don't
love that
even.
video idea though. That's a cool
Thor:
concept.
Dark World. I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking. God. Oh, dude, imagine watching Thor: Love and Thunder without watching the Avengers movies, dude. Come on, that's not gonna make any
You
sense.
just are. You just
Or
are.
just alert
movie-
watching the Avengers movies.
Or just
Like, how
watching
did
the
everything
Avengers
get
movies.
there?
I feel like, yeah, you're right. That would
Yeah.
be the only good ones for the Avengers movies would probably be the first and the third, because those are the only ones that like introduce the characters, like reintroduce them in a way that makes sense and is like cohesive.
Instead of just them popping up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, how did you guys get here?
That is it, dude. Nice job, Zach. That is a good video idea. I can't wait to do that. we could talk about which ones we're gonna do first. Sorry, that was sarcasm. But do we want to rank these? Do we want to like? I don't think we should put a number to these first 4 episodes. I think we should leave that to the end. But I guess we could each
Okay.
like, for now, rank the 4 episodes that we have, and then that could be our review.
Just like 1 through 4.
Yeah, 1 through 4. Like, I guess mine would be probably 3, 2, 1, 4, probably right now.
Mine's probably 2, 1, 3, 4.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think mine's 3, 2, 1, 4 also.
Okay.
I think that's-
Damn, G sad.
Definitely me too.
We
I
all
like
just
me.
made G sad because she really liked the Weasel. She likes Weasel a lot.
I did. I just
It's a high bar. It's a
like,
good show, I
there-
think.
yeah, it's still like really good. Again,
Yeah.
like, I gave a number for like all these episodes as like an overall
Yeah,
like collective,
We could hear it. Yeah,
and I gave it like a 7.5.
that's
So
fair.
it's still
yeah.
all the episodes are really good, especially because like I don't think anything in this was like a 10.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I mean, these are all
actually
like
do
around
agree
like
with that,
8
yeah.
and 7. So they're all within like a half point of each other essentially.
Well, like, I honestly think it's a good amount of credit to it that I didn't hate watching them for a second time. Like, I think that's if you ever watch any of the Mediak stuff, the biggest takeaway is that it's very important rewatchability, because what's the point of it if you're not going to want to experience it multiple times, you know?
And Zach, you actually picked a banger. I'm not gonna lie. I went in with my expectations of thinking, man, Zach, what are you making me watch?
I knew that,
But
dude.
I was like, you know what, Zach, you cooked on this one. You cooked.
I
I'm
knew
gonna
you
give
felt that
credit.
way, because when dude, okay, so anyone who watched last
usually-
episode, we were like, we're going to talk about it after the podcast. After the podcast rolled around, and I was like, Skylar, this is what we're doing. His face dropped, dude. He got so upset. He looked so sad whenever I announced what we were doing. I was like, dude, we're gonna have another Constantine situation going on over here. This is crazy.
Yeah, I thought we were. I was like getting ready for it. I mean,
No, dude,
I can probably count the number of enjoyable DC projects on my one hand right now. So
This is
like,
why
what
he
a
waited
project.
till today to watch it.
That's fair. That's fair. What would your favorite DC projects be? Like, give me the top 3 right now. Actually,
I mean, do you count like Robert Pattinson's The Batman
Yes,
as part of
100%,
that?
yeah.
Like, okay, so like that one is one.
one. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say the Joker, but the Joker 2 ruined
Yeah,
it,
you're
so it's
right.
not gonna be there.
You're right, dude.
The Harley Quinn show is really funny, and
Okay.
that one was pretty enjoyable. So I'd probably, I don't know, like Robert Pattinson is definitely one.
Okay. I put you on the spot here. You don't have to think about it.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
The Dark
Yeah.
Knight, not Rises, right?
The Dark Knight. Sorry,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Dark.
No, yeah, I figured
Dark
so.
Knight.
I wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Because I do actually
Yeah.
like that third one.
So probably those 3, but I haven't finished this one yet, so I didn't want
Right.
to put it on there.
Right.
But
of course.
this one might be interchangeable with the Harley Quinn show.
I think
They
that's
feel
super
pretty
fair.
similar. A lot of the same things go back and forth with this one. With the, have you two seen it, or are you gonna
Yeah,
watch it?
I've seen the first like 2 seasons, something like that.
Okay.
After this show, I might.
Okay, I won't say anything then.
Watch.
But
it's not
there
canon,
is a lot.
by the way,
well,
Chan. I don't know if that matters.
Oh.
Anything.
I
It's
just
gonna
like
be
the
fun,
direction of this show.
Yeah.
And I think the animation's similar, and you already said it's funny, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
The Harley Quinn
Um,
show is a comedy like focus show, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
there's it's like later on, but there's a lot of the same sexual tension. But it's between 2 characters who you probably wouldn't think of.
But I think it's better.
It is
I think,
better.
Yeah.
It is better.
No,
it
not
makes
the
more
show
sense to
overall,
me.
by the way, for fans out there who have misinterpreted what I was saying. I'm not saying the Harley Quinn show overall is better. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, but that one is like pretty funny on its own. Like I would say it's like a. I don't know if I want to say that because it's like it does have a story, but it feels like a Family Guy equivalent for like a DC
That's a
thing.
great way to describe it. That actually is a great way to describe it. It's like
like it's like it has its humor, it has its story, but not everything is super connected.
Yeah,
all
like
the time.
there are episodes. Like I've actually rewatched. I think it's either the second to last or the last episode of season 1 a couple times because I find it really funny. That's the one with the Joker. You know what I'm talking about with the Batman? Like it's so funny. I love that episode.
So you're saying that each episode follows the former one, like they're
no,
to
not
an
like
extent,
always. Like kind of, but
Yeah.
like kind of not. Like
Like-
sometimes they just don't do anything.
Yeah, the plot only
Like-
progresses like from either 5 to 10% each time. It's never more than like that.
Yeah.
It's never like problem
linear
introduced,
so much.
problem solved next. It's like
Yeah.
there's one problem probably throughout the entire season,
Yeah.
and like a couple episodes that will really work on it, and a couple they probably won't.
yeah, exactly.
Like
Or like
yeah.
they'll try to fix it
so there's
and
like
then
filler
they'll.
almost.
No,
What?
not like filler, because it's still pretty important for like the
It
characters.
kind of feels.
Like it's
No,
weird. It's
it
like
feels like filler.
you need to watch it. You
no,
need to
you'll
watch
understand. It's
those
it's
filler-
just
those
it's
filler
it's
episodes.
like Family Guy, but with like the tiniest overarching plot. But like it's
Okay.
enjoyable, I think. Especially
You can like
if
watch
know-
each episode on its own.
sort of.
Like,
It
it's
doesn't
not
matter.
really.
It doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't matter.
It's not like that unimportant.
Right.
Like okay,
No, but
so
when you say
start off-
Family Guy, I just think like each episode is almost independent.
It's-
it has
sort
like
of
the
like
comedy
that.
aspects, and sometimes they don't do anything.
Yes.
That's just
Okay.
it. There's still like imagine like one of your favorite like series. It just slows down the pace like a lot.
Yeah, that's
like
essentially what it is.
yeah, like you still
Okay.
need the episodes because you need like the character stuff. I don't want to. I'm trying to do this without spoiling, but like
No,
there's a
it's not
ton of
much to
like
spoil, I
relationship things that will go on, a ton of like mental things, a couple of like internal conflicts that'll go on in these episodes that aren't the main plot. So like they'll do those.
Oh, it just
It's
had
like-
a spinoff too. Kite Man, hell yeah.
So imagine like this is the straight line for the plot. It will go like this. Like
Then
it
it
goes in a
will get
lot of
there, yeah.
directions, and then at the end it goes, oh wait,
And it
it's
finds
all
it.
the way, yeah,
Yeah,
all the
then
way
it finds
back
its
through,
way
and
back.
everything connects, and you're like, how did we get here? And then like but it makes
Okay.
sense. Like it's actually pretty decent.
I like it.
I think
Yeah,
you already
I
know
thought it was
Love
good.
Interest though. I think one of my coworkers not necessarily spoiled it, but I just told him at the time I wasn't planning on watching it, so he did tell me. I think
I mean, you can tell me, and I can tell you yes or no or not if
is
you want
it
to.
between
This is like killing anyone
Ivy?
who's read
Her
comics
name?
over the last like 15
Her
years.
name?
And
Yeah,
Poison Ivy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
you're correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
yeah, it is.
Okay, so we're talking about the same show
Yeah.
that my friend was talking
Yeah,
about.
but-
Yeah, that's literally all
um,
I know. That's the only bit of information I know. Of the show.
Yeah, that's like one of the bigger relationship things, I would say.
Okay.
There's like a couple like others, but it has like a lot of humor. Like one of the things, like in the recent one, they go like on a cruise.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and it like
There's a
kind of
cruise
like again, it
episode?
kind of works towards the plot, but kind of not.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
that's like the biggest one I think of because like they're on a cruise because both Harley and Poison Ivy need to be on the cruise, but it's mainly because of them. But then there's other characters there, and then they need help, and then they get a phone call, and then all of a sudden they're off, and then they're back on, and like, yeah, you just have to watch it.
Okay.
You just got to get on that shit, dude.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
gotta
hard
get
to
on it.
explain.
I didn't drop it because it was bad. I dropped it because I finished everything there was, and then I just never picked it up when the season started because I'm just bad at that.
Understandable.
I've always been bad with it. I don't
Was
actually
it
really have
news?
basically any news this week, by the way, so we could go right into what
There's-
we're watching after I say just a list of projects that Amazon has working right now. If you guys have interest in that, if not, then I can just skip it.
I'm
Whatever
down.
you think.
Okay, we'll go into it. So The Boys season 5 is something they're working on. The next season of Fallout. We're gonna go
It's
in
still
order.
going on. I thought they wrapped up the boys.
No, there's another season.
No,
One last
yeah.
season coming out.
Oh, I do have news too, but continue.
No, that's fine. The next season of Ring of Power is also coming out. I just actually today watched a trailer for the next season of Reacher. Invincible season 3 is coming out in a couple months now. Batman: The Cape Crusader season 2 is coming out, which is good. People liked it. People thought it was fine. Has Been Hotel Season 2 is coming out. My brother is really excited about that. Boys spin-off, a new one called Vought Rising is coming out soon. I don't have dates for any of these. This is just everything they have work in progress right now. So don't get excited or not excited based off of whatever I say. Blade Runner 2099 is coming out. That's a TV show. That I'm actually pretty excited for. They just finished filming that. A Tomb Raider project is in the works. Gen V Season 2 is coming out soon. A God of War project, I think it's a TV show, is coming out. Mass Effect project, a Creed anime TV series is coming out. Warhammer 40K, it's a TV show. Wheel of Time, I'm not sure what that is. The Boys Mexico edition is coming out. I'm not even joking about that. That's an actual
That's
thing.
the title?
Yeah. All right. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, either TV show or series. Spider-Man Noir TV show. That actually paused filming because of the California fires, which is really sad. And they're working on the second season of Secret Level right now, which is pretty cool. That one probably will take a while to come out, though. And that's everything Amazon Prime is going right now.
There's a lot of bangers in there, actually. For being Amazon,
they've been getting some NFL games.
They have been. Fuck that, though. Screw that.
I don't know how I feel about
I have
that.
some movie news. Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a film.
Yeah, off of that script that they had for Netflix in that TV show that got
they're
canned.
making a show, though. I'm glad it's not a show.
That show, it was a show, but that got canned because the guy in it was apparently like a pest to some degree, and then I think they're working that script into that movie. I don't know where it's coming out though, so I guess that's up in the air.
I think a movie is just gonna be better.
Yeah,
I hope.
Totally.
I prefer a movie more, but I just don't know if they'll do it justice still, because I still think Kratos deserves a movie, not a show, especially from Amazon Prime.
I think that Kratos deserves a show. I think it deserves to be a show with movie visuals, though. Just because I think Kratos
we're just not going to get that with Amazon, though.
You're right. I'm not gonna beat around the bush and be like, oh, but I wish. No, you're totally right. I just think his story is too powerful to be like in a movie.
In one movie, yeah. There's so much to cover. You're right.
You could skip the prophecy. Like, here's the thing, okay? You could skip the prophecy stuff and like just do straight, just him and Baldur and like everything in the first thing. But then when you make the sequel, you're gonna have to cover that stuff because you're gonna make the sequel, because if it gets popular, the franchise is gonna want to franchise. So you just need to have all that stuff in there, and I think the TV show would be the best way to go at it.
Do you think they do God of War, then they'll do God of War Ragnarok, and then since there's no game to continue off of, they just go back to the prequels?
It is weird that they're starting with the reboot. Like, what's that about?
I think that's just that was literally Game of the Year.
Well,
it's most.
The other one is a
recent.
hack and slash. It doesn't really have like a complex story to it, so I can't say that because I've never actually played them. I've only ever watched like video recaps, so I guess I can't say that. But I don't know.
I think there is a lot of story though. I definitely remember watching tons and tons of clips.
Right.
Like the
I loved back whenever both of those games came out. I was like big into the lore, so I watched a ton of videos about it. But I never actually played the games, and I can't talk about it until I do that. Skylar, I'm waiting.
Or
it's time.
it is time, but before we get to that, I do have a question.
Oh, God, Tim. I love how you transition every time. You're so cute. I have an answer.
Chandler,
Oh, okay. He has an answer.
what have you been watching?
What have I been watching? Ugh, not much. Although I do have a special appearance for you guys. Maybe I
should
saved
have asked
that.
for Scout.
Where is she
I should
here?
have asked for
No.
Scout.
This is an inanimate object.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was here, but no, she's gone. She's at my house. But I have been playing Astrobot. I'm about a sixth through it, I'd say, and I've been running tons of notes.
He's actually doing
guys-
it.
You guys can't read it because I'm shaking it, so you won't get the focus. So no spoilers. But I have tons of notes, and I'm just a sixth through. What else have I been watching? Not many shows. I tried watching. I forget what it's called. It's on Max. Well, while I'm searching what this movie is up, here's my special appearance. It delivered yesterday, and I got through the prologue, if you will.
Oh, Oh, no way you read it.
So,
dude,
yes, I'm gonna watch this movie. Or watch this, or read this book. Gosh dang it.
I like that. So
myself
I heard that they actually kind of.
read this book.
I've been delayed with reading that series because the one that I was most excited for, the What If Moon Knight Was Venom, that one got like mid reviews, so it made me be like,
really?
oh, I don't want to read this anymore. But that I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's in the series. That book standalone is really good. Like actually, it's really good. It's about grief and sadness, and it just like it'll make you think. It's a good one. It really is a good one.
It'll tug at the heart a little bit.
Maybe it'll make you feel emotions. It doesn't like instantly make you. I wouldn't say it's sad, but it makes you like think about how you feel about things. I don't know if that makes sense, but they actually do a really great job in having Loki go through his change.
Interesting. So there's like some self-reflection.
Yes,
you're saying.
A lot of it.
All right, I'm down for that.
It has a lot of like imposter syndrome, if you know what that is, but like in a way that they don't go like, I'm dealing with imposter syndrome right now, you know, like a lot of things do. You know?
Yeah.
I hate whenever they do that. They actually just like have him do it, and they don't write it out. They just have him experience the things and have him act the way that someone with imposter syndrome would act, and it's just really great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I just literally got like the first 3 pages.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to convince you to keep going, even though I already paid the money to finish the book.
Yeah, the money has already been spent. I don't think Amazon honestly takes anything
they would take
back.
it. They took it. Yeah, they take it.
That'd be so funny. You read it and you just return it.
I'm done.
It's like Steve, bro. Imagine beating the game in 2 hours and then returning it and then you can't do nothing about it. But I found the movie The Revenant with the bear in it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've seen it already, and I know like how crazy that scene is, and just how he survives. I have no idea, but I want to rewatch it because I loved it so much. But it's a long movie to watch.
Yeah, it's a good one. Though.
What else? Just playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. Not much so much Fortnite recently. I finished Squid Game season 2. I liked it a lot, I'd say. I don't know how I feel about how it ended, like the cliffhanger. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there.
I haven't seen the first season, so I can't really talk about that show very much.
It's so good. The first season's very good. Watch it subbed. I prefer it. I think it's better subbed.
I'll watch it one of these days whenever the hype dies down. But yeah, I will never watch a live action show dubbed. Like, I feel like that's blasphemous.
Yeah, I agree.
Because no matter, like, at least in animation, you can get the sounds and the
you're right.
line up slightly. But
you can't fool the facial features. It's just like the language is not making sense.
It just doesn't. So. It doesn't do that now.
Yeah.
It's
like a cardinal sin.
Yeah,
like
kind of.
The 11th commandment. Don't do it.
Is that everything you watched?
Yeah.
Last
I think
week?
that's everything. Yeah.
I'm dying inside. Oh my god.
Back.
Yes.
Don't do that.
You got anything going on this week?
Actually, kind of. So I started watching. Well, I already watched it. I started. What? You're right. No, I did. This upcoming week, nothing necessarily planned. I have stuff I have to be working on, but yeah, I've worked.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you have going on, Chandler?
Oh, our last week before school, bro. That's what I got going on.
I wish, man. I wish.
So, Zach.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
Dude, I've been up to not a whole lot, if I'm being 100% honest. The only other stuff that's not going to be reoccurring for the next couple of weeks was I started watching Castlevania with G because I found out that there was a trailer for Castlevania Nocturne Season 2, and I watched that with her one day, and she started questioning me on it, and then eventually I did the whole sales pitch on Castlevania, and I said, at the end, do you want to watch the first episode real quick? And then from there it was done. Castlevania is amazing. Castlevania is probably the best thing Netflix has ever done, and arguably one of the best anime I've ever watched. Like, just straight up, it's so good. I love it.
Good, it's very good.
It's really.
Is it originally in English?
Yeah, which is weird.
Okay, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
I thought the sorceress in Castlevania was the same voice actor for the princess in Creature Commandos. I wrote it down, but I don't think it's They're the same. They just sound very similar, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Because she has an accent. She for sure has an accent in the Castlevania. It's not so detectable in this.
Did you ever watch Nocturne?
No, I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Castlevania. I haven't even seen the third, if there is one.
What the fuck? What is wrong
So,
with
yeah,
you? Dude, the show only gets better. Dude, season 3 is sick! Season 3 is insane!
Season 2 is just off-putting, bro. There was a lot of sex in that show.
Okay,
towards the end.
No, you're
you're
totally right. But like, just get over that barrier, and then because if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, if we've talked about that, season 3 is fucking crazy. Yeah, no, you're right. They're different people. But yeah, so I watched that. The first episode of that with G, and then I watched all of the episodes of X-Men 97 again because I'm getting footage for that video, so it's going to be on there, so why not just sit and kind of look over it a couple more times. It's a great show. Really fantastic show, actually. Like, one of the best animated shows there is. And then I am still reading Aragon. I am playing a game called Sea of Stars, which is an RPG, which is fantastic. And then obviously the recurring Black Ops 6 and Rivals. Black Ops 6 will go away the second I finish the Battle Pass, don't worry. But it'll come back every time I play a new map with Chandler. But you guys will know when that happens because you'll get a video. Chandler, you ready? We're gonna do something. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Skylar, what are you watching?
Okay, look.
No,
before you answer that, I was going to say Skylar.
We can't rehearse it.
I say Sky. It's just so awkward. It's just awkward for me.
Yeah, we can't rehearse it. We just have to naturally one day do it.
Okay. Is there a desync?
Yes.
Okay, because like when I was saying it, it was like 2 seconds behind for you. So we're just gonna the full send next week.
Pretty similar. I have to pause a little bit, yeah, because like I feel like I'm delayed a bit. It doesn't matter. Skylar, what have you been watching?
So I've been watching One Piece. Still, I've only watched like a couple episodes on from then, just because I've been doing other stuff. And then I read like 14 chapters of Black Clover today at the gym. I was hitting leg day, so I was really trying to not like want to die. So I had to distract myself because I started a new cycle for my leg day program, and it's really tough. So I've been doing that. I've watched, obviously, me and Lily are still watching Game of Thrones. I think we're halfway through season 2.
Nice. You guys are actually schmoovin'.
Dude, we're flying. It's like one day we watched for like 8 hours. And then I've been playing a lot of Rivals, an insane amount of Rivals. I've been playing FIFA, some Fortnite. I streamed yesterday for like 4.5 hours or something. It was like 8 until like close to 1 a.m.
Damn.
Wait, so like that was during the football game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're not.
You sent that out during it, and I was shocked. Because
he hasn't watched. He hasn't watched Steelers.
Yeah, but he could at least watch them get their ass handed to them on a silver platter. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
TV.
What a game, right? Yeah. That was an incredible game of football last night.
Dude, yeah, it was certainly a game of football.
It really was. It was one of the games I've ever watched. It really
definitely was. So I've been doing that, and I'll just talk more about Rivals, I guess. But I had a game yesterday, and it made me mad. Like I started going in chat to talk to this guy because I got so mad, and I'm on controller.
I love doing that. That's my favorite thing ever.
So, and I'm on this.
Make the switch, bro. Make the switch. Convert.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
You'll love it. You'll love it. Once you have it, you'll never go back.
Well, actually, so I did have a problem recently with my PlayStation randomly turning off.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yes. So I took one day and I cleaned it, like fully. Mostly. I did all but like the really nitty gritty, and I was like, okay, if this doesn't fix it, like I'm just gonna have to take it somewhere and get it cleaned, because like I don't want to mess up like anything like the motherboard or anything like that, because like if that's done, I'm done. So I'm like, I'm gonna get somebody else to do that.
Are you cleaning it?
With a rag and a toothbrush. Not mine. different one.
Right. But I think if you use like isopropyl alcohol, that could be the wrong thing. Like that won't hurt the circuitry.
I
or anything
used
like that.
I just used the cloth, and then like the cover for the PlayStation, I used water and soap.
Okay.
So,
yeah, but
and then
if you ever wanted to clean like the actual motherboard and stuff, I think isopropyl alcohol doesn't hurt it.
I didn't.
think.
I really didn't want to. I was looking for dust because I thought it was overheating, and it wasn't overheating.
Oh.
Found that out because after I did the cleaning, I was like, okay, we're in the clear, because it turned off after like 40 minutes, and I was like, there's no way. There's just no way. And then I turned it, so mine was facing the wall. And I was like, oh, maybe it's overheating because it is facing the wall and the hot air is blowing back into the fan. And it's just a hot area in a very small area. So
that's a good thought.
It's just that. So I turned it to the side and it didn't happen. And I was like, okay, that was probably just it. And I was like, oh, I feel so smart. And then like a day and a half later, I was playing FIFA like on my own. So I wasn't even in a party. And after 30 minutes, it turned itself off. And I was like, what is going on?
Womp womp.
And I, again, took it apart. And I was like, okay, this time, everything. Right? I get like most of the way through. I look at the fan, and it is completely dust-free. And I was like, there's just no shot. And then I'm like, before I actually take everything off, I like take my phone and my flashlight, and I peek inside to where like
and there's a mouse.
The like grates are. And I was like, if those are covered in dust, then that makes sense. But they weren't. Dude. There was no dust. So I was like, what is going on? And then I was like looking it up, and I was looking up the first day, and it's like, it's probably just overheating. But again, as Zach always says, Skylar remembers, there was a very slight bottom text that said, or it could be the power cord. So I was like, is this the power cord? Is the power cord going bad? Is that why? And I was like thinking back, and I was like, you know what? That would make sense, because if it was overheating, one, it would feel abnormally hot, right?
Yeah.
And it's not abnormally hot. I just think it's like warm. And then I was like, if it's overheating, it would be consistent every single time. And it is random when it is turning it off. Like I could go for 40 minutes and then I could go for 3 hours. And if it's overheating, it shouldn't do that. If anything, it should get shorter.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like,
science?
How can I go from cleaning it one day and having it and getting out all of the dust to have the same problem the next day? There's no way it's getting that much dust in like a span of like 36 hours. So I went to Best Buy, got a new cord. I haven't had the issue since.
I hope that's
but that was just like yesterday. So I'm hoping that was the fix. I haven't had it since, but I think that might have been it. But every time my screen goes a little bit black, I do get a little bit worried.
Dude, sometimes my monitor turns off, and every time it does that, my heart fucking drops. I'm like, well, that's it. I'm broke.
Yeah.
It's probably just your HDMI cable, right?
Hopefully.
Sometimes they can be...
This bad boy...
My PlayStation was turned off.
I meant for Zach. Sorry.
Yeah, this bad boy runs on that souped-up HDMI, the one with, like, the square end.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
About? So hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, we have a stream to get to. Our boy Andre is about to get going on things. So, do you have any more PlayStation power cord issues to tell our fans, or you have all your quarrels out?
Well, little word of advice: if any of you have the same problem I have, clean it once. If it still happens, it's probably
get a cord. Get the cord
and all the effort. If it doesn't feel abnormally hot, or if it's not turning off consistently at the same times every time, it's probably the cord.
Just get that motherfucking
Save yourself
cord.
Or just do yourself a favor. Work up a couple hundred hundos and just get the PS5 Pro. Just do it.
I was actually at Best Buy, and I was like, if this happens, this is what I'm resorting to. I was like, this is what I'm resorting to. I looked at him, and I was like,
sir,
this
I'm going to buy your PlayStation.
This cord better work.
Bro.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So you can either final debacle. Clean it, change power cord, or get the new PS5. It's one of those. If you have my issue, those are your options.
Or get the PC, so you never have this problem again.
You can get a PC for like a PS5 Pro's price.
That is actually true, yeah. And then as long as you get one with a good CPU, you can basically upgrade every other part of it.
So I
basically
or a motherboard.
Expensive.
Well, you could switch RAM, right? You could add RAM. No, but you
Yes.
need to have the right motherboard to be able to add the RAM to it. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Or some motherboards just don't like newer products. Like it's not future proofed, if that makes sense.
No, I get that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Quarrel's out.
Clean first,
Nice.
cord second. All I gotta say.
Let's go. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll see you guys. This episode is coming out on a Wednesday, so we'll see you tomorrow with our first like weekly stream. So that'll be fun. I guess we'll see you guys then. We're doing Marvel Rivals, obviously. All right. Goodbye, y'all. See you.
Have a great time.